Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Bregaton. Let's continue exploring the starport.
Is there money to be made?
Judging by the caustic smell and oily stains, Promethium was previously stored here. Must have fallen into the hands of the heretics. Deathworld Origin Light Flak Armor. The plus 10% parry chance against melee attacks, and plus 5 agility. I thought there were enemies in there,
Always
but that might be on the way
keep your eye on
back.
the price.
Change is coming. The edge is nigh.
The blinded ones are harmless. No sense in shooting them and drawing attention.
Fire on the nearest target! Don't kill the tech priest! We need to take him
Let
alive!
those who seek knowledge find it, and let their enemies reap
What's he doing? Fall back!
May knowledge be thy fate. Let the cycle be discontinued.
The man dressed in crimson should not have survived an explosion like that. However, he is alive. You hear the wheezing of the respirator that covers half of his face.
Not another step.
A trill comes from the folds of the partially smoldering crimson raiment. It is binaric speech, the sacred language of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Binaric hymn transforms into a vox-synthesized voice that sounds like thunder rolling over a vast plain.
Flee, for I am death.
His gaunt hand rises to stop you, and immediately your Vox howls in pain and your machine equipment starts crackling. The tech priest's blazing power axe disgorges a cloud of righteous sparks, and his visor glows menacingly in blue and green.
By the throne! What is that servant of the Omnis I am made of? Adamantine? Ah, placid.
Abelard clutches his head as his ocular implant is rocked with a wave of interference, or racked. Abelard, this is no time to lose your composure. Present me.
Rogue trader von Valancius greets you, honored tech priest, and graciously grants you permission to remain in his presence.
Clenching his teeth, the seneschal grits out.
I identify you as a member of a high stratum belonging to Rogue Trader House von Valancius. I am detecting no need for confrontation.
The tech priest's visor focuses on your attire and examines the symbols on it.
The convoy received an order to meet you. It is no longer functional. Therefore, I propose that we continue to advance to the rendezvous point with the governor's soldiers.
The menacing blue-green glow fades in the tech priest's gaze. He lowers his arm. Your equipment ceases to malfunction. The tech priest stares resolutely forward. His mechadendrite tentacles... I don't actually see any mechadendrites. Rising gracefully around his hunched figure, which is illuminated by the flames of the smoldering remains of the machine. Who are you?
I identify as Magus Pascal Haneman of the priesthood of Mars. By the grace of the Omnisire, I am currently assigned to the maintenance personnel of the station Altar Templum Calixis X-17.
Altar Templum Calixis. I have heard the name before. The station appears on House Orselio's star charts, in the Furibunda system, not far from the Void colony of Footfall. You have traveled a long way to come here, esteemed Magos.
Point at the exploded machine. How did you manage to kill off a slew of people and blow up a sacred machine without even laying a finger on it?
This was my doing.
The tech priest turns around and stares aghast at the burning remains as if he had nothing to do with what just happened. His vox produces a mournful prayer.
The voices are being weird about him. They're saying garbled, conflicting things. Like they're talking about completely different people. But he's not a threat to you. Even if that's a bit hard to believe after all the fireworks.
Adira's been staring at the tech priest, biting her lip. She finally leans into your ear. You do not even know how you caused such an explosion.
The Omnissiah granted me a revelation. The spirit of this machine was dying, but it wished to perform a service, for such was its design. I sensed this and appealed to it. I do not know how I did it. I merely followed my intuition. The understanding granted by the Omnissiah was not permanent. It has left me.
The tech priest appears shaken.
How strange it is to hear such words from one who is not of the blood-spun web. We have much in common.
Bella stares at him in surprise. Why do you wish to see the governor?
I came here to carry out a sacred mission. My mentor, Archmagus Amonat, summoned me, and I hastened to answer his call. But the rabble's unrest prevented our meeting, and I was on my way to Governor Medina to determine my mentor's current location.
Tech priest hesitates, glancing at his mechadendrites as if consulting them. Eventually, his vox system responds.
My escort was ordered by their commander to discontinue their movement and await to be merged with your group. Then, due to their incompetence, they let themselves be killed. It was an unacceptable complication to my task.
If the tech priest's voice carried any compassion for the dead, the dry words that crackled from his vox system did not convey a shred of it. You must be quite devoted to your mentor to be willing to wade into this mess for him.
Cessation of vital functions is an unavoidable phenomenon, and therefore an insignificant one. The doctrine of worship repudiates the fear of death.
Small wrinkles gather around the tech priest's exposed eye, as if he is smiling under his respirator mask.
With my mentor's words, the Omnissiah gives me the algorithm for redemption and triumphant service. I will be redeemed, and I will triumph.
Then his expression hardens, and he adds cryptically, I invite you to join my retinue.
Acknowledged. Predicting successful and mutually beneficial cooperation.
Who to get rid of? I do want to keep Adira in my party, probably for the entire run. Oh, already kicked Cabela out. Well then, I guess we'll just stick with that. Alright, take a look at Pascal. There's an operator just like Adira, so it is a little redundant. Then he also has Machine Spirit Communion. All weapons in a huge area gain additional effects. Allies' weapons, recoil is reduced by half for 5 rounds. Enemies' dodge is reduced by 8% for 5 rounds. Enemy weapons, recoil is increased by half for 4 rounds. Allies' dodge is increased by 8% for 5 rounds. Machine Spirit Banishment. Reduces the damage dealt from the target's attacks by 14% for 1 round. Targets with the Reject the Flesh feature, so like Servitors and other Mechanicus units, suffer 20 shock damage. The target is a mechanism or a machine. It suffers 40 shock damage instead, and its characteristics are reduced by 8 until the end of combat. Passive Learning. On the first turn in combat, the operative randomly distributes the same number of exploits as when using Analyze Enemies among all enemies in a 10-cell radius around the operative. At the start of each of the operative's subsequent turns, they distribute half as many exploits, half the base amount, among all enemies in a 2-cell radius around the operative. He has melta weapon, plasma weapon, and bolter proficiencies. Reject the flesh. This creature gains +1 deflection, +10% armor, and suffers -5% to dodge. He's dogmatic, from a Forge world, which we've read before because my main character is from a Forge world. Forge for a purpose. Forge world characters choose one of the... Alright, we've read that before too. My main character has the subskin armor. And he's a tech priest. A member of the Adeptus Mechanicus and follower of the Machine Cult. Tech priests are initiated in the secrets of maintaining the most sacred and advanced technologies of the Imperium, which makes their contribution to humanity's survival irreplaceable. And flagship, he has torpedo reload. Expeditious reload can be used during the acceleration phase to reload torpedo tubes fired the previous round. And perfect pulse. Ship pulse gains +1 range. Additionally, it does not expend the flagship shields. Does it say which one he chose? Alright, here, we probably want, I do weapon skill. So, last time I made him a plasma gun user. I kind of make him into a melee build. He has some potential for a melee build. Let's do it. We'll mix it up this time. Here we go. So, acceleration protocols. Pascal gains 4 MP in the first round of combat. Every successful melee attack grants Pascal +2 MP for the next round. You know what? There aren't that many axes, are there? Maybe it's not worth doing. Thinking back on it, I think there's only like 2 other hog axes. We can always respec. Yeah, we'll stick with the, range build for now. If I find a better axe, we'll... I really want to do a melee build. Let's just do a melee build. Second guessing myself, we'll just do melee. We have other companions. If I don't like it, we can always change it later. Acceleration protocols. Pascal gains 4 MP in the first round of combat. Every successful melee attack grants Pascal 2 MP for the next round. I believe the axe is a power weapon, so if we do... Power weapon expert. Power weapon attacks gain +10% armor penetration. And weapon skill. Joint analysis. Until the operative's next turn, their allies' attacks also remove exploits and deal bonus intelligence, bonus more damage. Logic. Well, probably do tech use first. Uncanny Sight. The operative inflicts an exploit even on enemies which are out of the operative's line of sight at the start of the turn. Yeah, so close-up scanning. Pascal's melee attacks apply the Machine Spirit Communion effect on all attacked enemies. I mean, that's awesome. This might be good with the melee build. The target also provokes an attack of opportunity whenever it attacks. And logic. Logic. Intelligence. We could do ballistic and weapon skill. A lot of his stuff scales with intelligence. Prediction protocols. Pascal gains plus 20% to dodge reduction and parry reduction with melee weapons. If an enemy dodges or parries his attack, the bonus is doubled for the next melee attack against this enemy. And probably Lore Xenos. We don't have a lot of Lore Xenos knowledge in my... But they crossed the whole party, right? I think Heinrich's... Yeah, actually we'll do that with Heinrich's instead. Let's do, I don't know, awareness, I guess. Yeah, this will be fun. Because he does start with a power axe. Omniscient axe. I think there's only 2 other ones. Omniscient axes grant the wielder a plus 15 bonus to weapon skill, and axes have a special attack that inflicts bleeding. And remember, we're also applying Machine Spirit Communion to all enemies hit. Yeah, that'll be fun. He also has a blast gun, which is mediocre. Do we have a better weapon to give him? The Ripper. Yeah, why not?
I always have a backup plan.
Also, what's cool about Pascal, or one cool feature of Pascal, is that he only has 1 weapon set, but he can equip 2 two-handed weapons. An entire procession of cargo servitors was destroyed by gunfire. Not a single one of them attempted to flee. Violation of the right of operation. The shuttle's Prometheum tanks have been abandoned and left open. Someone interrupted the fueling sacrament. Darkness is coming, and in it will shine a spark of dawn. The final dawn.
Keep your wits about you.
A bolter. And a medikit. In fact, I could give this to him as well.
The future you see could be the whispers of the archenemy. How can you trust your visions, Adira?
I don't think that's the question you wanted to ask. What you wanted to ask was, how can others bring themselves to trust a despicable psyker like me? Face it, sister. Not everybody's as pig-headed as you are.
Yeah, still thinking... It's silly this isn't a heavy piece of armor. Every one of the dead have had their eyes ruthlessly burned.
I always keep my options open.
Sid skin. Plus 5% dodge if the wearer's agility is more than 40. I'm sure the machine spirits will listen to you. I bet they're real stubborn. But you're whinging. Or whinging. I've seen the tech priest do it twice. Once even brought a sensor to him. Of course they'll listen. Alert. Profane violation of the algorithm. Access received.
I'll make an example out of you.
Are you ready to die?
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone. Doubt is for the weak.
On it.
So that was really unfortunate. That's actually why I positioned all my characters in the middle of these two turrets, because I figured that was going to happen.
I'll show you why navigators are feared.
God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart! None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Hey, there we go.
Let us not dawdle.
We haven't taken out the anti-aircraft turret yet. We can't return to the ship. But we should be fine anyway. Alright, main character, probably weapon skill. So toughness is another good choice. We can max all that out. I like the idea of demolition on my main character as well, because in the RBDs he probably did a lot of breaching charges. Good corrals though. Strength for Abelard and athletics. Probably prescience, free science. I'm not actually sure how to say that. But the target gains +6 intelligence, perception, fellowship, and willpower until the end of combat. Honestly, I mean, more AP. It takes a while to get there, but that could be good. So, flawless plan. Every non-successful dodge and or parry by the Psyker and their allies combined grants the Psyker +2 additional AP on the next turn. Now, later on, fights go by really fast, so it's unlikely that we'll even see this. Strength. She needs strength. Really, stronger together is pretty good. think I'm going to do characteristic training strength. She does need strength. Trying to see how much that's going to give her, but that should be alright. I reveal the light. The target ally gains plus 22 to their willpower and toughness until the end of combat. Those are the perfect stats for my main character. Alright, the navigator's perception is higher than their agility. Their dodge is calculated using perception instead. Sure. Why not? Tactical knowledge seems good, especially since he's going to be in the fray, surrounded by enemies. The operative removes one exploit from each enemy in a 5-cell radius around a point within 10 cells from the operative. If there's only one enemy in the area, the operative removes all exploit stacks from that enemy. Our allies gain percentage armor until the end of combat. If 4 more exploits are removed, the operative gains % damage until the end of combat. Hey, here we go. While Pascal's under the effects of Machine Spirit Communion, his melee attacks deal an additional 15% damage and gain 15% armor penetration. Absolutely. Alright, straight to the capital. I don't think there's any heavy armor for Pascal. So again, the fires of the forge. Alan is, there's no reason to. And really the armor he has on it currently, I think it lasted till the end of the game. My first run. The corpse's throat has been ripped open, seemingly by a glancing blow from a none too sharp blade. The upway extends across a wide bridge, which is suspended high above the rolling waters of the river below. The bridge is densely packed with imposing and ostentatious buildings designed to flatter the vanity of the local elite.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
This mansion must have been damaged by an explosion or a large shell. You can still see some of its former luxury within. A young man in a planetary guard uniform salutes you. Your lordship, Private Camille Regius, ready to escort you to the command center for your meeting with the governor. I regret to say that the convoy sent to meet you was ambushed and took critical losses in heavy fighting against the rebels. In other words, I'm the only survivor. However, the rebel force was destroyed as well. We can set out for the command center. The success to failure ratio of combat objectives completion for this world's military speak to its subpar efficiency. I will advise the local ruler to seek my fraternity's aid in upgrading their troops to servitor maniples. Your uniform looks odd on you, soldier, as if it belongs to someone else. Apologies, your lordship. The soldier draws himself up and goes to adjust his gear. It's a new uniform. The guards are in a difficult situation right now, so we often get issued whatever's left, and it isn't always the right size. Your mouth is full of mud, soldier. You're hiding something behind beaming hues of faith and loyalty. What is it? The soldier gulps nervously under the stern gaze of Cassia's ruby eyes. Fear, I guess. In times like these, if you give in to weakness, you're done for. And I'm not done with life just yet. Darren winces, glances at you, then shakes her head. How did you make it out alive if your entire convoy perished? The Emperor protected me, the soldier replies with confidence. I didn't run, your lordship, if that's what you're thinking. I was by my commander's side until the very end. I shot the last rebel from the gang that attacked us. But alas, the captain succumbed to his wounds. The others had already died. The Emperor rest their souls. What can you tell me about the insurgency? The ungrateful rabble rose in rebellion against the planet's lawful governor and his lordship Caligos Winterscale, a ruler by the will of the Emperor. They are all heretics deserving of a most terrible death. Order will be restored. The guilty will be punished. Enough talking. Let's go to the command center. Yes, your lordship. We have to take this avenue. It leads from the starport right to the command center. It's a short walk. We can't walk straight across, your lordship. I'll show you a safe way around. Yeah, I bet you will. Alright, well I'm going to call it here, and next time we'll follow this guy to the command center. But for now, I thought it still calls him a young warden, instead of his name, Male Regius. But either way for now, thanks for watching, and hope to see you guys in the next one.